Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
Okay. Let's get back into it.
I know. What do we do? Sup. Welcome. We're back. I've never said sup in my life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode and new season of the Horror Friendly Podcast. My name is Katie, and I am joined by Chantelle.
Hey, hey, hey.
Part of the You Run Podcast Network.
Hell yeah. It's all right. Scott loves us and our forgetfulness.
It's fine. It's our first episode coming back. So
I know.
Be
From
gentle with us.
Slightly longer break than we intended. Life happened and we just got busy.
Life happened, but yeah, we haven't broken up.
No, we could never. It wasn't even like we never intended to take a break. We just needed to.
No.
But we're here now, so accept it.
We're here. We are here. How have you been?
Busy. How have you been?
Yeah, busy as well. Like just been
God.
lifing, you know?
Yeah. It just happens sometimes. I'm so
It
glad
does.
it waited till the end of our season for life to get crazy.
I know, it's really nice that it did that. It's good timing.
Convenient timing. But yeah.
And we only had to watch one part of the film for this one, so
I mean, it's still a fucking long film. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the whole thing because it's a mini series, as they kept describing it. But yeah, it was long. But do we want to get straight into it, or we have to catch up first? Let's get straight into it.
okay.
I said, knowing I have not got the description up. So we are back, baby. But we are back, and we are covering the original, the 1990 Stephen King's horror drama, It, which is a fucking pain in the ass when you're trying to type it into, like, I want to watch It, and it doesn't. Anyway, in 1960, a group of outcast children fight a predatory clown that is actually an evil shape-shifting demon. 30 years later, they reunite to stop the creature once and for all. So this is, as you said, it's a two-part miniseries. So the first half, otherwise it's like a 3-hour hit in one go. So what were your first impressions? Do you remember the first time you watched this?
I do. I remember I was in Blockbusters when I was a lot younger, when Blockbusters existed.
You know, that shop.
Yeah, that place, that everyone hung out. I saw the DVD cover of it and I was like, I need to watch this. Like, the DVD cover scared the shit out of me. So I think it was one of the first horror films I'd ever watched.
Amazing.
So I do remember watching it.
What an introduction to horror.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was but I remember just Pennywise and like Tim Curry just scared the shit out of me. Like, it was just it just scared, and it kind of still creeps me out to this day, so it still does have an effect on me. But yeah, I saw that DVD cover and I was like, I gotta watch that. But yeah, what about you? I assume you were quite young when you watched this too.
Yeah, probably scarily young. I read the book first before I watched the film, and I think that's why I was like, I have to watch the film now I've read the book, which for anyone who's read the book might question that choice, but yeah, and I can't remember if it was like one that we had laying around and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch that when I've read it, or if I was like went to CEX or whatever and bought an old copy of it, or HMV or wherever. Because what is it? I've got it down there still and I can't.
Yeah, it's like a pale white background.
Yeah,
and it's just Pennywise.
Yeah, but I can't know if it's like a 15 or an 18. Because I was like, I can't remember if I bought it or not. But yeah, it's so funny because the clown, and again, like when I then watched Rocky Horror Picture Show and realized it was the same guy, because I think I watched this before Rocky Horror, and I was like, the fuck? That guy is so creepy. Oh, there you go, it's a 15. So somehow I got away with it. But this is, and like the clown is still so creepy, even looking back and like seeing some of the old effects that kind of aren't as scary. He still is, like, his makeup has still aged really well.
I think it's like, if it's a combination of a lot of things, but it's Tim Curry. I think just like the way he is, and like he's kind of put on this weird kind of like Bronx sort of accent.
Aren't you going to say hello?
And like he kind of, I don't know, there's just something about him and the way he can like contort his face.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, I think that's what really got me, like that first scene with him and Georgie. I just think it's so good, and like the kid is so cute, and just the way Tim Curry is, or Pennywise is speaking to him, and just you're instantly hooked into it. I think like you believe him as like a horror villain.
I think what's weird as well, because like you obviously have the bit with the little girl on the tricycle as well, behind the washing. And again, like he's a clown, but he's almost like endearing, and he's playing with her before he turns. And then there's the bit, I'm gonna have to get all the characters up because again, there's so many of them and they've all got names. Have to remember which ones. They've all got fucking names.
How rude.
I think it was Ben, whose dad had died in the army.
Yes.
So like when he can see him at a distance and he's starting really nice, and then I like that like slow reveal of him like with the pom-poms, but it's always that like the slow trust, and when he's talking to Georgie and he's like, hey, we're friends, before he turns. And as you say, like Tim Curry doing that is so fucking evil.
Yeah, there's something really evil about it, like his face and his eyes, he just changes. And like that, I even missed with the girl on the tricycle, like when his face just drops, like that was the bit that just fucking got me. Like it freaked me out so much when I first watched it.
I think that's it. Like normally nowadays you see like an evil clown, but they're evil from the get-go.
Yeah.
And like that's why Pennywise was so scary, because he was Pennywise the Dancing Clown. And then he turns, and it's like, that's what's scary, is you fall into that sense of trust, and he's supposed to be fun and a kid's entertainer, and he's not. It's the John Wayne Gacy trick.
Yes. I mean, I don't know like how many clowns by this point in 1990 there were like in horror or in like media, but it seemed like this was kind of like, I mean, I know that the character of Pennywise and Tim Curry's one was very much regarded as like one of the scariest clowns to ever be like portrayed. But I don't know if there was a lot of clown action before Pennywise. I don't know.
When was Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
That was a while back, but like that's like
Killer Clowns 1988.
Okay.
So it was just before this. I actually don't horror clowns. I'm looking it up because it's a really good point, actually.
Well, yeah, like was there many? Is there any? I mean, obviously there's these kind of lower budget films, like me and you have watched a couple that have killer clowns in, but I mean like proper well-known ones.
But even then, I was gonna say like Captain Spaulding and stuff, but even they're more recent as well. So I would always think of Pennywise as like the original, but I could be completely wrong because I wasn't watching horror in 1990. So
you weren't alive.
I was not alive. Like Down with Clowns, like 1997. Like I want to say he must have been one of the earliest ones.
Yeah. Okay.
If not except for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But even then, like when the book came out, let's see, it published. Well, it was published in 1986. So yeah, I'm gonna say Pennywise has got to be the OG clown, right?
Gotta be.
We're going with yes.
We're going with yes anyway, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think as well with this one, like I've always preferred the first half. I just feel like I do like the adult cast, but I just think the younger kids, like they have something to them, like they have such a good, you can just tell like they have such a nice relationship, and like I don't know, maybe you just sort of you take a liking to them a little bit more, and they're such good little actors as well. I think it like you do get really like get sucked into their lives, and they all have like shitty parents as well, so it's just like no wonder they all just congregated together. But
yeah, and I think that's it. And again, I think a lot of horrors kind of play on that trope of obviously the friendship group, but as you say, it's like that where they've got shit lives, shit parents, so they look after each other against this horrible like clown. But I think that, like you say, like the kids half is kind of that. I prefer it because again, it's like Pennywise is going after the kids. Like he was never really supposed to go after the adults. The fact they came back is kind of because and I'm going to try and get their names because of Mike and like how he reminds them, because they were never supposed to come back. But I think as well, and again, spoilers for the second half, but even when they do come back, they try and use a lot of the same tricks they used as kids.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice seeing that first half and where those ideas come from and where those like defenses come from. And like you don't see all of it in the first half because obviously they couldn't put it all in, but you see kind of like you're starting to see the kind of feeding in there.
Yeah.
And we're starting to it's scary seeing Pennywise, whereas the end is kind of like the fight, whereas the beginning's kind of setting.
Yeah, it's sort of setting the scene, and like the second part, they're choosing to come back, whereas this is all happening to them, and none of them like want this to happen to them. Like this, they aren't choosing for this to face the situation. Like it's all, and I kind of love like the build up of like it's happening to each kid separately, and then they're all kind of start to cotton on like, oh, this is happening to you too. You're seeing this clown as well.
Because that's the thing. If Pennywise, if they hadn't had terrible parents and actually come together, Pennywise would have taken them out one by one.
Yeah.
It's only because they became a group of 7 that they managed to defeat this ancient clown.
Demon
thing. Have you seen the theory? And I'm going to have to try and find it now. The Pennywise and Mary Poppins are of the same species.
No.
Oh my God, let me try and find it.
What?
It's really funny because there's like summation. Both Mary Poppins and Pennywise are supernatural creatures of the same race that feed on human emotional energy. Among their similarities, they can produce illusions. They are associated with a red balloon. They both love to dance. People forget about them once they leave their presence. They seem to hibernate for about 1.5 decades between feedings. In both cases, children end up floating. And feeding into my dish, and both are associated with a red balloon. But the idea is that they're the same, but Pennywise feeds off fear, whereas Mary Poppins feeds off joy.
What?
Which again, completely like, I don't think whoever wrote Mary Poppins and Stephen King sat down and went, this is a thing. But I kind of love that somebody sat and figured and like tried to connect the two of them.
That's incredible. Does this mean we're going to be covering Mary Poppins on the podcast?
I mean, again, have you seen the Mary Poppins horror trailer? Because that thing was fucking scary when we were kids. Like, there's definitely some twisted shit when someone's trying to force feed you medicine with sugar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's sadistic as fuck.
And then singing at you.
Yeah.
Someone was trying to sing at me while giving me medicine. Like,
yeah, fuck off, mate. Just do one or the other.
Normally, because if I'm taking medicines because I've got a headache, like, stop fucking singing at me. This is not the time. I need a very dark room. Leave me alone. Like,
fucking hell, Mary. I'd prefer Pennywise at this point.
Literally, I was like, at least Pennywise might
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear. Wow.
Sorry.
Okay, so I never knew that. That's incredible.
Completely off topic. Sorry. It came up a while ago and it's never left.
No, not at all. No, it's great. No, it's so good. But no, that's the thing. Like when you're saying about friendship, like it is so like that, and like it is so focused on friendship as well, as because like when you were describing the plot, it was called a horror drama, which I thought was kind of interesting. But it kind of is, because it isn't just the horror, it's kind of also about like coming together and like reuniting and being kind of like lifelong friends. So yeah, it's there's a lot more to it than just kind of like a scary clown kind of thing. But that's the wonder of Stephen King, I guess. Yeah, everyone remembers Pennywise, of course, because they should, but it does feel a bit cheesy though for a horror to be like, we're going to defeat this with the power of friendship. Like, yes, it's not a great weapon, if I'm honest. No, it's not.
I'd rather a really big knife.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to fight off Art the Clown with just friendship.
No. Maybe that's it. Maybe Art the Clown just needs a hug. Like, has anyone tried?
Yeah, has he got daddy issues or mommy issues?
Oh, fuck yeah, he's got issues. It seems.
No, I agree. Yeah. I think that's kind of a lame way to die. Like I feel like Stephen King maybe could have come up with. I understand, like maybe as a book, that's kind of a cool thing, but for a horror film, it's quite hard to give off. Do you know what I mean? Like horror vibes.
Friendship.
Yeah.
You could almost imagine this as a musical.
Yeah.
Although I feel like
we have to sing.
Everyone join hands. But I feel like there's like Stranger Things. Is that all similar? Where it's like the power of friendship, and it's like, for fuck's sake. And it's like, it is and it isn't, because they still take him down. It just takes 7
Yeah.
of them to be in different places and overpower him. But it's just, yeah. And it's like, how much do you know about the ending of the book? And anyone who's read it knows where I'm going with this.
I know there's an orgy.
Yeah, and it's fucking...
Can you go into that a bit more, Tal?
Yeah. Okay, so, and the funny thing, you've met my friend, yes. So we've got a group chat, not you, well, you and I, yes, but another group chat. And you know my friends are in this group chat, and I literally got a message one day, and it's like, Chantelle, is there a child orgy at the end of it? Because her girlfriend had told her that, and they didn't believe it. They were like, no fucking way. And I had to like send a voice note, and I was dying of laughter, because yes, it's fucking true. Now Stephen King claims he doesn't remember doing this because he was on a shit ton of cocaine. However, before it got published, it still had to go through editors, publishers. Like, how did no one stop this? Like, every time, every film and remake of it, no one has done it because they all know it's wrong. But how did they let it go to print? And that is a really big problem. And I'm only laughing because of the ridiculousness of it. It's one of those things, and I think we said it with The Exorcist, like when you're reading it and you're like, am I hallucinating? Did I read that wrong? Am I the problem? But yes, so basically, and we all know that Beverly obviously doesn't have a very good upbringing. I can't remember if it's she saw her mum having sex, or if like someone tried with her. I can't remember how she learned about sex, but it was basically at the end, they were like, we need to, because, you know, apparently trauma bonding wasn't enough. She knew of sex as like a way to bond like two people. So she was like, this is a great way for us to bond forever. And literally like lays down, and then one by one, the boys have a go. And that's not a nice way to word it. And I'm sorry, but I don't know.
That's what happens. That
is literally how it's described in the book. And then it's also as well, because she kind of has like a crush on like 2 of them. There's always like, and it's like, the last one I think was, I'm gonna get their names wrong.
Well, it's Bill she has a crush on.
Bill she has a crush on. Who's the one that has a crush on her? Right, so Ben, thank you. And I think it's him that goes last, and he's like, it's like written that he's like, oh, he wants to be really gentle with her and all this, and it's like too fucking far. Like, who put this in print? So every time, and then when like the It remake was coming out, everyone was like, please don't do that scene, please don't do that scene.
And they didn't.
And they didn't, thank fuck, because people realized that's fucked up. And it's why it's in there, how it got in there, I don't know. Like, I understand the kids had really fucked up lives, and you know, unfortunately, children having sex young does happen sometimes as a result of really fucked up situations. But it just felt like that one step too far.
Yeah, like, kind of unnecessary.
Let's bond with a kiddie orgy. Like, it's just
bad. Friendship is fine.
The power of friendship is far enough. Holding hands, far enough. But even in the film, they had Beverly, like, she kept kissing them on the cheeks.
Yeah.
So it was almost like they were trying to show that she'd kind of been exposed to more than she should have been at her age.
Yeah, I felt like there was that, and it was also kind of like, it was sort of felt a bit coming of agey as well, that they were kind of like, you know, starting to kind of like each other, and like Ben instantly had a crush on her. But I know it is insinuated in this film and the remake that she's abused by her dad. I don't know how much it goes into it in the book, but I know it's pretty heavily emphasized in the remake.
Yeah.
With this one, I think I don't know, it is, I think, insinuated, but yeah. So I think that also probably has something to do with it as well. Yeah. Like, she was introduced to sex very early on. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember where exactly what it was in the book, but if anyone knows, let us know. But it says, it doesn't say, it's like oh my god, you could write an essay on like the deep dive of like the psychological damage each of these kids went through, because like, and again, that's how they kind of ended up together, is like these outcasts, because things weren't good at home. One of them lost a sibling, one of them lost a parent, like one of them was being racially attacked every day, like you could it's rough, and it is, and it's almost that really lovely thing that yay, we found the power of friendship to look out for each other, because actually they found a family.
It is also interesting, like in the first part, when you see their lives at present time as well, and how it's kind of reflected who they were as kids. Like, Beverly married a man who was just like her dad.
So sad.
like it's just she's just followed that pattern of abuse throughout like her adulthood. And like Ben, for example, like he's won all these awards, like he's lost loads of weight, he's all handsome now, but he's still not happy. Like he drinks a lot, and like he's still not, like, this was even before they found out the fucking clown had like turned up again. But like they all kind of weren't that happy.
It was like they were on the surface successful, because that's the point, isn't it? They need to be successful enough or they won't go back to Derry.
Yes.
And they need to be busy enough, but until they get that call and remember everything from Mike, who's the only one who's not particularly successful.
Yeah. Who's still in Derry.
Who's still in Derry and is the local librarian, whereas the others are like on TV and don't seem to remember each other.
No. But and like even Bill doesn't, he remembers that his brother died, but he doesn't remember how.
Yeah. How upsetting is that? When he suddenly has to remember and relive that.
Yeah, and like and then gain his stutter back again. It's like he's just going back to his childhood.
Yeah,
like that's insane.
I do think, and as well, as you said about Beverly, when you see her as an adult in an abusive relationship, and it's actually really sad that, well, obviously it's really sad, but it's really sad that actually the thing that saved her from that relationship was the clown. Because all of a sudden she took that phone call, remembered that as a kid she could stand up for herself, and found this incredible courage. And I was like, the fucking clown just saved you from this arsehole, but how?
Yeah, like, that's crazy. Yeah.
Really annoyingly crazy that I'm like, God, did Pennywise do good? Unintentionally.
Good Pennywise.
Like, he didn't mean to, good boy. He didn't mean to do good. It was just a butterfly effect.
Yeah. It was like Eddie, when like he still lives with his mum, when he's like 40, and like he still just has a ton of like meds that he has, and like his mum's still wondering where he's going, but like he's got a pretty successful business. And so it's all kind of like, and then obviously Richie's like now a comedian. And you kind of all know who they are before even like they introduce themselves,
just from little bits. So I think Eddie, in the book, instead of living with his mum, I think he was living with his wife, but again, he'd married someone exactly like his mum, who was like, you can't go out, I'm too worried, and a bit possessive. So again, I just thought it was interesting that the film changed that, but because as you say, it's like they grew up and married back in, because again, even his mum was like, why would you go back to Derry? And I was like, does she remember? Like,
yeah, it's weird.
Or maybe she just remembered bad times but couldn't remember details because she was an adult when they left.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it was just that, and I was like, so I thought it was interesting that it was a wife originally, because she wouldn't have known why or what was scary.
That is interesting, because I think in the remake he does live with his wife, and I think it's the same actor that plays the mum plays his wife. Incredible. In like the second part, so I'm pretty sure so he must have gone back to the book to like change that.
And it's as you say, like Ben's really obsessed with, do you know I used to be fat, and that's the only thing he remembers from like being a child. But as you say, like he's still got all of that, like, excuse the pun, but weighing on his shoulders. Like I always don't know how else to word this, but it works. It's beautiful.
It is.
He just keeps going on about it with this Paul, and this woman's just like, I'm just here to get laid. Like,
please stop like putting all your issues on me.
Yeah, like, okay, like I don't know. So it was all it's like how it's done, and it does kind of show that in this first half.
Yeah, I like it as well. But and poor Stan, he's the only one that doesn't return.
I love how you keep mentioning all of them, and I've mentioned like 3, and I'm like, clearly I only remembered.
Well, I only watched this yesterday, so it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah, so I know there's 7 of you, but these are the favorite 3. Poor Stan.
Yeah, that's it was kind of like it. I mean, it was like gloomy and like dark throughout, but I feel like this kind of like took a step up, because obviously it was quite like graphic as well, like seeing like the blood smeared on the wall and how he killed himself. Like I know that it's been dark the entire time, but it took an even darker turn, I feel like, at that point.
I think we were, because you started seeing, because they obviously drip fed it, so you saw one person at a time going back, and then they were all like sat there having a laugh when he makes that phone call. So I think I think, like you say, it takes a really dark turn because you're expecting them all to come back.
Yeah.
So the fact that one didn't is actually like, oh, fuck. Like, this isn't going to be, as adults, the power of friendship. We can do this. This is real and this is traumatic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is a lot. Yeah. I felt like that was very much like, I mean, that was just before it ended, but it felt very like, oh shit, okay, this is like serious again. Like this, like you say, this isn't just holding hands, you know, singing Kumbaya. Like this is more than that.
I think it tells the other adults as well that like it's not going to be easy. And like I know they don't expect it to be easy, but they're the only people, especially as kids, that have managed to defeat this thing.
Yeah.
So actually now it's like, fuck, we're one person down. It's already taken one of us. This is going to be so much harder.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's incredibly like powerful without actually saying anything. Like you say, like it's very graphic on screen, but it doesn't delve deep, but it tells you a lot.
No, I know what you mean. I don't know if this was in the book, but just going back to the remake again, when they all swear to Bill that they'll come back, I believe in the remake, they all kind of like, they cut each other on the palm. So they've all got kind of like a scar, like blood brothers, whatever. And I don't know whether that's in the book, but it wasn't in the original miniseries. I don't think they do that. I think they just put their hands in the middle.
I don't think it was in the book, but they did have the sex scene instead.
Okay. They had to get rid of something.
Yeah, they like
something had to give.
I kind of like the idea of a scar.
Me too.
Because especially because in theory, everyone's scar would match.
And like when Mike was making the calls, they all looked down at their hands. So it was quite a nice throwback. So I think I'd recently watched, or not recently, but more recently watched the remake. So I think I was getting it a bit confused. But I kind of wish that was in the miniseries because like you say, like it's quite a nice way to kind of throw back, I think. But I mean, it worked.
I think it's very metaphorical, isn't it? It's like we literally have a scar from this bullshit. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No, I like that. One thing I really did like actually was so obviously we see like little hints of, I say hints, some of them are not subtle, it's just Pennywise right there. But when I forgot his name again, Mike joins the group on the tractor and they're all sat around, that's a really cute shot as well.
Yeah.
But when they're going through, he's like, oh, look at these old pictures of Derry, and they start putting together how long Pennywise has been around. But there's that like picture black and white and he's dancing and he comes, I love that bit. And like when he comes dancing up, I think that's so creepy.
So creepy. And then he notices them.
Yeah. And he's like, you're looking, and he goes into like color and it's
so like, good.
So good. And they're like, even when they throw the book and there were other creepy bits, but I love that bit.
It's a great bit. And it's such a classic like horror scene as well, like with the hand coming through the book. Like it's a bit cheesy, but it also still really works and it's just fun. Like, and like you say, it's all kind of black and white and you can't see Pennywise straight away. So you're kind of looking for him. Like you're also in the film, like, where the fuck is he?
I think that's it. Then you start looking for him literally every shot, and every time there's a picture, you're like, is he in that? Like, because he is, well, he's not necessarily, I don't know if he's in every shot, but, or every picture, but it is that where you're like, he could be. Like,
yeah, he could be. Like, you don't know. I suppose because he is a demon, isn't he? Like he could make himself into anything.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the point of like the ending of when he turns into a spider. You're like, could probably be creepier. It's like again, it's like spoilers for the second half, but it's like where it's like you could probably have been scarier.
I prefer the clown, if I'm honest.
And again, I'm not like, I don't have a fear of spiders. I know some people do, and that would be terrifying, but the clown is creepier.
I think so.
Like a 20-foot tall Pennywise would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
But yeah, that's a great scene. That's so good. And there was another one that I think it's maybe more in the second part.
Yeah,
when
I'm trying not to like.
I know. But there is one where I feel like in the second part he is slightly more comedic because like I don't know if he's like making fun of them a bit more, but like he kind of comes out with these one-liners but yeah, I think there's a little bit more of him in the second half. But yeah, the first one is still great, and I think it's Richie that goes and gets the mop from the janitors, and then sees the werewolf, and that's obviously like his thing that he's scared of the most. And I thought that was really good. Like that was quite a fun little a fun little scare, but yeah, like no one believes him and everyone just laughs at him. But
yeah, was it because they'd gone to the cinema, hadn't they? And it was like, I'm a teen wolf or something. But yeah, I thought that was. It's just again, it's like everyone's got something.
Yeah,
like scared of the showers or scared of the bathroom or. But again, even that, like the touch of Georgie's book or in the sink where the parents couldn't see the blood.
Yeah,
and like how quick the kids put that together. And they were like, oh fuck, this is a me problem. Like no one else can see this stuff. Like it's just creepy.
Yeah, it's really creepy. What did you make of the bully, Henry Bowers?
I think he plays it really well, to be fair. Like again, I think in school we all kind of knew someone who was probably not that bad, because I mean, I don't think anyone maybe I don't think anyone ever brought a switchblade to school.
Who knows?
Like I think I think our teachers are a bit tougher on bullying, like so I think it is very overplayed, well, not overplayed, but like over dramatized. And yeah, maybe it was. I think it depends on the school you went to. Depends if it would ever have got that bad. But like you do hear horrifying stories of like kids going through like bullying this level. But yeah, I think it was pretty creepy, and you could kind of see why the kids kept running away. But again, I love that tractor scene where they all suddenly decide to stand up and start throwing stones.
Yeah, it's so good.
Which is so good. And again, I nearly went to part 2, but and it is that way again. I think as well they just look at the part, right? So the grease back hair and just. It's just fun.
Yeah, like, it's like they're sort of T-birds from Greece, but kind of like worse.
But even and again, I've forgotten the bully's name, but even when Ben's introducing himself and he's like, oh, I'm from here, and immediately the bully's like starts having a go. Same with when Mike joins the school. Yeah. And then the teacher gives him detention. He's like, oh, my dad's gonna have my hide. And it's like, again, bullies create bullies. So even the bully, we got some backstory. And it's like, God, there are no good parents in this town.
No. Like no, literally none. Everyone sucks.
Even the parents who were slightly more successful raised really bratty girls. Like, oh, well done. Like,
yeah, I know.
No, none of these kids are good. Like, not the kids are bad, but like, yeah, none of the kids are having a good time at home. Like, it's just shit.
No, they're not. Proper shit. Yeah, no, none of them are having a good time. So no wonder, like you say, they ran away and like, did whatever. But
I also think in the 80s, and again, having not been a child in the 80s, but was that not the norm? Like, you had a lot of latchkey kids. Was it not quite normal for the parents to just be like, right, I don't want to see you till the sun goes down?
Well, it was based in the 60s, wasn't it?
Sorry, yeah. Well, yeah.
But so, still, like...
Yeah, so even more normal for it to just be like...
Exactly.
Parents didn't raise their kids. The kids raised themselves outside.
Yeah, definitely.
And then came back when the streetlights came on.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like that. Yeah. When they built that whole fucking dam, that would have taken them all day. Like, because we used to go out like most of the day in the park, but we still had phones with us if we did need to text our parents. But like, they would just go off.
Yeah. And I honestly think that was, and again, like nowadays, everyone's like, oh, parents are so overprotective. You're like, you just because you didn't know where your kids were for like 5 days of the week.
Yeah, no.
Maybe check if they're in bed at bedtime. Like, you do hear horror stories.
Especially like all the kids disappearing and dying. You would think that like...
You think the parents would give a shit.
Yeah.
No.
Do you want your kids to be on a milk bottle? Like,
I don't think they're that concerned. They just don't seem worried, these parents, do they?
No.
And again, I don't know if that's Pennywise kind of like putting the blinkers on, or
maybe
if they're just really that bad. Like a couple of the parents, I would assume that bad. Ben's mum seemed okay, but she was obviously like they'd moved back or like moved in with her sister.
Yeah.
So it was like she was trying, but she was also working a lot. And it's like, so you could, and like again, 2 of the parents had just lost a child, so they were a bit checked out. So it's like, you can see why, but your kids have been been out for 10 hours. Like,
yeah.
There's also a curfew on this town.
Yep.
Like, it's the only reason the kids are coming home is because there's a fucking curfew.
Yeah, that's the only reason, just to get a bit of food. There's a curfew.
Yeah, they eventually get hungry and come back. And it's like, it just cracks me up. I'm just like, no wonder Pennywise was like, great. Kid buffet,
free reign,
like free range children.
I know. Let's go to Derry. Fuck yeah! I'll eat so many kids.
It's just, and then even again, like when we see Mike in the future, and he's like, "This is the 6th kid that's gone missing." Like, because again, the police aren't concerned, and like, why does no one in this town care about the kids?
Would someone think of the children?
Literally. And it's like one of those kids got taken away by the dad. I'm like, great. And what about all the others?
Yeah, what about the others?
Like one parent went, we should probably leave. That was it. Everyone else stayed and just offered their kids up to the demon. Like,
yeah,
fucking...
pretty much. Yeah, no one gives a shit.
Oh dear. Yeah, I am trying not to give away the second half. I assume most people have seen it by now anyway.
Yes.
But another change from the book to the film. So in the novel, the group is not referred to as the Lucky Seven. They call themselves the Losers Club, which again, is that not straight from... I've already mentioned it, and that's Stranger Things. Do they not call themselves the Losers Club?
I'm not sure they do.
Oh.
They are kind of like outcasts, like they play Dungeons and Dragons, like they are kind of like a bit more out of it, but I don't know if they call each other losers.
Maybe it's not Stranger Things. Maybe it's... I'm sure another something calls the group Losers Club. And again, I was just like, I wonder if that's a reference.
Maybe
I'll have to look that up. I'll have to do more research.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting. Also, Alice Cooper was actually considered to play the role of Pennywise.
Wow, okay.
Which
interesting.
I feel like would have been good for the scary parts, but I feel like Tim Curry just like absolute nails the switch.
Yeah, I think so. I think that like, well, I mean, I don't know how capable Alice Cooper is as an actor, but Tim Curry is a fantastic actor alongside being scary as fuck.
Yeah.
So I think he was the perfect person for it. But yeah, Alice Cooper would have been an interesting choice. But apparently Tim Curry like creeped everyone out on set. Like he wouldn't like get out of character. So a lot of people didn't want to hang out with him on set, which I find really funny.
But like you can't blame people for not wanting to hang out with you when you're acting like fucking Pennywise.
But I've seen some incredible behind the scenes pictures of him like smoking, and he's just like in his costume.
Isn't there one of him under an umbrella? Because they also did the makeup to leak. So he's just there looking really miserable.
Yeah, he's a whole mood in this film. But yeah, apparently he like really got into it, and he was like the perfect person for a director because he just listened and did like just, I don't know, it was just like really compliant with like everything the director wanted him to do. So
yeah,
apparently he was great on set, but creepy as fuck.
Which the more I hear about Tim Curry, the more I love him.
Yeah, same.
Like he's a babe.
And not the last time we'll be covering him on the season. Yeah. So watch this space, guys.
Watch this space.
We're covering Home Alone 2.
Surprise! I cannot remember what I was going to say.
That's
really irritating. No, you're grand. It was funny. It could have been that important. The opening scene. Sorry, well, it's not quite the opening, but the scene with Georgie. Yes. Obviously iconic.
Of course.
Do you remember again, like your first time watching that? Did you see it before you saw the film? Again, we're going back to like our teen years, so we may not remember.
No, like this was one of the first films, so I didn't understand the references. Nothing, no. So this was like brand new to me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I just wondered because again, like I wonder how many people now know of Pennywise, again, from this one or the remake, know of Pennywise or know that reference, but have never actually seen the full scene.
Yeah.
Because and again, like the way it's played.
Like
with the
balloon,
yes,
like the drain, the balloon, the coat, like it's all very like it stands out.
Yeah.
So
there was, I can't remember where actually. It might have been like a horror, when you do like Halloween Horror Night sort of thing. I know I saw like they literally had like a mannequin of like a kid in a raincoat with one arm, like spraying blood. And again, I was just that, and I was like, I wonder how many people know that's Georgie, and that's not stupid because he wasn't in the drain, or they haven't seen the film because it's getting quite old now. I know there's a remake, but again, like there was obviously quite a few years where like people may not have got that reference. But I just, and again, as you said, like the kid is so cute, he plays it so well, like, and it's scary, and I just wondered how many people like you still see a drain and some of them are slightly too big, and you're like, nope.
No thank you, no fucking thanks.
Some of them do look like you could get down there and you're like,
No, I'm fine.
So he's fine. Whoever works in the drains and the sewers, fucking so brave.
Yeah.
Like, do you reckon do they get danger clown pay?
Maybe they get compensation. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's actually one of the interview questions. Have you ever seen or read? Yes. Then you can't have them.
Yes. Yeah. Then you're going to be useless here.
Sorry, you're out.
Have you seen the remake? The remakes?
I'm pretty sure I watched part 1 on a plane, and I haven't watched part 2. Which I need to. Okay. I know I'm a piece of shit. I need to watch it on a full screen and watch it better. And watch the second half. But yeah, I think I kind of love the OG. So
yeah, I was the same. I watched it. I didn't like it at all, actually.
No,
no, I kind of I like the kids in it. But yeah, I don't know if this is controversial or a hot take, but I just didn't like Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. I thought there was way too much CGI in the films. I thought that because of that, he was less scary. I also kind of thought he was just a bit of an annoying little cunt. Like, I liked Pennywise. I liked Pennywise in the miniseries. He wasn't annoying. Like, I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah.
Whereas Bill Skarsgård's one, I was just kind of like, you're not scary to me. You're kind of annoying. Like, I didn't get into it at all. And, you know, don't get me wrong, like, Bill Skarsgård has brought it back with Count Orlok. Like, he's a great actor. But to me, I don't know if it was necessarily him or it was just the way that Andy Muschietti sort of wanted him to be. So yeah, I didn't get on board with it at all, but I know a lot of people love it. But yeah, it's interesting how like you can have such different opinions about the same film.
No, so it is hard because, again, especially when it's a remake, and I need to rewatch it, but like when it's done almost like scene for scene, and you're like, well, what was the point? And the only difference is the actors doing it differently. And I don't know like how Bill Skarsgård played it, but as you say, like Tim Curry is so like funny with it and sassy, and again, like more so in the second half when he's like reenacting Richie's bit, and it's like he's funny. He's annoying, but and as you say, like there's actually bits in the second half where I'm like, why a spider? I want the like because you want the clown.
Yeah, you want him back.
Yeah, because he's an asshole, but he's a funny asshole.
Yeah, he is.
So it is, and again, I will watch it and let you know.
Yeah, please do. Please do. You might completely disagree, but
I might be like, are you kidding? This was so much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do a poll on that. Who is like if anyone prefers the new one?
That would be good. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That would be. Okay, well, speaking of things we prefer, maybe, what was your preferred / favorite spooky moment? I got there in the end.
You got there. Mine's going to be actually thank you for reminding me, but the opening bit when his face just drops, I forgot how much that bit scared the shit out of me. So that's going to be my favorite spooky moment. What about you?
I'm going to go with the bit, and again, I've already mentioned it because I love it, when they're looking in the book and that photo changes.
Yeah,
it's so well done. I love it. It stays with you. I know it's not the most iconic scene, but I just think it's great.
Oh yeah, I think it's a pretty iconic one.
I think them on the tractor is quite iconic.
Yeah, definitely.
And what are you giving this spookies out of 5?
I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 spookies. Yeah, I love it. I don't really know what I'd change about it. I guess I used to watch it as a whole film when I was younger, so I guess because of my old self, I would be like, oh, it's a bit long, maybe. And also, I don't love the bit with the spider, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
So that's why I lost the point. But it's just such an iconic film. Again, it's like, you know, one of the first films I ever watched, horror films I ever watched. And it's just, it holds a big place in my heart. So I love it. What about you?
See, I was thinking of going 4 as well. Because again, funny enough, I think when I watched the DVD, I think you have to flip it. Like when it gets to the halfway point. Yeah, you do. I was like, I'm sure it's the only DVD I've ever known that you have to do that. If I'm just going this half, I'd probably go 4.5.
Okay.
Whereas like you say, when you watch it in one whole swoop, I think it does bring it down a little bit. Just because the first half is better. But yeah, so I'm gonna go 4.5 for this one. And I've asked all these questions out of order. You can tell it's our first one back. Would you survive Pennywise?
Well, I don't think so. And I really wanted to say yes for our first episode of fucking season 11. But how can I? He can be anything. He could be anything. Like, I have a massive phobia of cats. He could just be this massive cat. Like, I would be fucked. You have a phobia of eyes, so he could be this big eye.
It wouldn't even be an...
Or someone doing something to your eye.
It would be like something in the mirror of him like doing something to my eye, and it would freak me the fuck out. Because I was gonna say, funny enough, maybe not the second half, but again, we're not doing that right now.
Nope.
When we were teenagers, we did have a very big friendship group. We sound like we've fallen out with everyone. We haven't. We're just adults, and some of us moved away and don't live there anymore. But like we used to have, like, every summer we would spend 6 weeks in the park, like the Loser Club, but there was like 12 of us. So I think as teenagers, we had the power of friendship.
Okay, nice.
And we might have stood a chance.
Okay, yes. All right. I like your thinking.
I want to think, as kids, I think we would have. I don't know, going back as adults, if we'd still have the same fighting chance.
Okay, yeah,
my knee has been hurting for 3 days. My ankle hurts. Like all the time.
You'd give it a good go.
I'd give it a good go, but yeah, we'd have to get the gang back together.
Yes.
There is a picture of us on like Brighton Pier, and I think there was like 17 of us.
Yeah, there was a big group of us at one point. So
yeah,
if we got those guys back, you never know.
You never know. We could possibly do it.
Hmm.
Amazing. Well, that was us covering It Part 1. We will be back again next week, so follow us on all the socials to see what we're up to and what we're following. We may take a slightly, like, more floaty approach this season for when we're releasing episodes. We're really sorry, life has just been very busy at the moment, so please be patient with us. But remember, there's over 100 episodes that you can check out on Spotify. So until then, bye.
Bye-bye. Nailed it. Cool. That's the one thing we nail.
The one thing we got right, yeah.